What's up, guys? This is Jesse from Team Judgment, and today I'm coming at you guys with my plant zombie deck engine mesh thing. Um, Still don't have a name for it. I just call it zombies for short. It makes it easier. Um, we got our turtle sleeves here for our extra deck. But this is for the June 12th format update, and I'm going to go through all the changes from the previous deck, and let's get right into it. So, first we've got the triple Shiranui Solitaire and double Unizombie. So one of the changes is I went down to 2 Unizombie. I made a lot of changes. I'm still at 42 cards, and cutting Unizombie allowed me to squeeze more things in my deck. And it doesn't really hurt the deck. I don't notice it, really. We've got triple Mizuki and 1 Gozuki for our plant engine. So Gozuki's really good. I really like him. I wouldn't go more than 1 though, personally, because you actually want him to be in the deck so you can dump him off the Unizombie's effect. If you do draw him, he's actually really good. But again, at the same time, it's that you don't really want to see him. But if you happen to top deck him, it's not the worst thing in the world. So that's why I just want to run 1 of him. Late game, he's really strong. He dumps an additional Mizuki to grave. So that's it for the zombie engine. Next, we've got the Predaplant engine. We've got the triple Lone Fire Blossom, the 1 Orpheus Scorpio, and 2 Darlingtonia Cobra. I want to explain this engine, this ratio right here, because a lot of people do 3, 3, and 1, or 3, 3, and 2, or 3, 1, and 1, or something like that. But I do 3 Lone Fire, 1 Orpheus Scorpio, and 2 Cobra, because basically what you want to do is you want to open up Lone Fire Blossom. A Lone Fire Blossom is better to open up than Orpheus Scorpio, and you only want to resolve 1 Orpheus Scorpio. So after turn 1, you play your Lone Fire. Your Orpheus Scorpio is basically useless after turn 1, because without Norden, I don't play Instant Fusion, so there's no point on. And his effect's only once per duel anyway, so you don't really want to resolve more than 1 Orpheus Scorpio. And you run 2 Cobra, so you have him in the deck. If you open your Cobra, you're gonna cry a little inside, especially if you need the Brilliant Fusion play for the turn. So I do 2 Cobra, so 1 stays in the deck. 1 Scorpio and 3 Predaplant, 3 Lone Fire Blossom. So you open Lone Fire. Basically, you thin your deck by Lone Firing into Lone Fire, and then into Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire into Orpheus Scorpio, and then you pull out the Cobra and search the Brilliant Fusion. So you thin your deck by 6 cards, and it's really good. That way you don't have to worry about drawing into extra copies of this or dead plant Lone Fire Blossoms. But I mean, you have the opportunity to draw into one of those, but it's better off having the opportunity to draw one of those than drawing other dead plants in your hand. So that's my reasoning for running the ratio that I run. On to our, I guess, hand traps. We've got triple Ghost Ash, or Ash Blossom, double Ghost Ogre, 1 Maxi, and triple Cyframe Gear Gamma. So a cool thing you can do with Gamma, I really like opening these 2 in my hand, opening hand, because this livens up. Basically, this makes your Gamma, this makes your Lone Fire Blossom really safe. So you summon Lone Fire, then tribute it off for its effect, and since you have no monsters, because the cost is to tribute a plant monster, you have no monster in the field, so you can Gamma if they attempt to Ash Blossom your Lone Fire Blossom, or your Solitaire the same way. So Gamma is really good for that reason. You basically have a safe Shiranui Solitaire or a safe Lone Fire Blossom turn 1, and a free Omega if you negate the Ash Blossom. He's also good going second, obviously. So I really like the Cypher gears. Maxi, of course, one of the double Ghost Ogre is really good, and the triple Ghost Dash is self-explanatory as well. On to our Gym Knight monsters. I run the same two. Lazuli combo. If you Brilliant Fusion for Lazuli, or Send for Unizombie, Send Lazuli for Unizombie, her effect triggers, and then you add either this is if it's present in your graveyard, or Cypher Driver. So basically, it helps mitigate that discard cost and make sure it doesn't be as a burden as it could be. And Garnet's just Garnet. There's a lot of times where I'm glad that Garnet is in here, and then there's times where I'm glad that Lazuli's in here. So I like these two as my Gym Knight monsters. On to our spells. We play the one Brilliant Fusion because it is indeed searchable, so you don't need to resolve more than one Brilliant Fusion in the game unless it gets warning or something sad. But I mean, that can happen. But I mean, if you ran 3, you still get warning, then you have to rely on drawing one. So the one Brilliant Fusion, I like the one of it helps me lessen the amount of dead cards in my deck, and I get to actually draw things that can actually help me. Still Triple Desires. Nothing to say really about this card. Actually, I think I ran 2. I'm up to 3 now. It's really good. You run 3, so yeah. Oh, and one thing to say just about Desires at 3. Yes, I did cut a lot of the engine out of my deck, like the Orphan Scorpio, I cut one Zombie, and I cut double Brilliant Fusion out of my deck. And to be honest, actually, I don't really see an issue. Like when I Desires, I don't really banish those cards, or I combo off first, and then Desires last after I'm already set up. So Desires is really good. I think it's a must-have in a deck like this where there's no actual draw power that you could possibly rely on. On to our rest of our spells. We played double Mystical Space Typhoon. I don't have Cosmic Cyclones. I got rid of it. Got rid of them, the ones I had. And the Twin Twisters, the discarding is actually problematic, which is why I run things to help mitigate that discard outlet. So I like the MST, and nine times out of 10 you're hitting one card anyway. So MST is good. On to the rest of our spells. We play one of Force, one of Soul Charge. We're playing Graveyard Heavy decks, so those make sense. On to our traps. We play so little spells, so Imperial Order is one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. And Mirror Force Brigade. I'm going to coin that if it hasn't been already. I put one of each of these Mirror Forces because it's like a Mirror Force and Mirror Force for different situations. You got the Quaking for booking shit. You got the Drowning for returning shit. You got the Mirror Force for popping shit. So basically is I couldn't decide which Mirror Force. Like the reason I'm running one of each is I couldn't decide which Mirror Force would be best suited for this type of deck. I really like Drowning because of the whole Omega thing. But if you don't have double Omega or a way to remove your monsters from the field, then you have these to fall back on. Or if you're in a pinch and you lose your field, you got the Drowning to rely on. And Quaking's always good, and Mirror Force is pretty good right now. So that's basically why I run one of each. I don't think I would change this. I think this is the way I would like to keep my Mirror Forces. I did pick up Stormings, but I don't know. I really like these 3 a lot. I feel like a lot of the decks currently have main deck. I have boss monsters that are main deck. So Storming would just put them back in the hand, and it would be a temporary solution, but not a permanent one. So, on to the rest of our traps. We have double strike and one warning. 42 cards, like I said, it's pretty good. I really like this deck a lot. So on to our side deck, which is always the personal preference, of course, and it's always subject to change. But double DD Crow, which can probably change. I'm not really a heat train, like I said, of DD Crow. but I realized the worth of it. We have Artifact Lancia. I'm just gonna go into the cards that I normally don't side, I guess. Double Shared Ride, which is basically maxi for searching. And it's in quick play spell form, so you have to go first. We've got our board wipes, double dog Cole, and single Raigeki. We play. It was supposed to be a triple Kumongus, but I think I put my Kumongus somewhere, and I have to find it again. I explained that I use Kumongus because most of my plays revolve around summoning Omega, and if this thing happens to survive a turn, then I would have to go into something else to run over the 3,000 defense. So I don't want to have to play around a Kaiju, so I'd rather just use triple Kumongus. And one Drone Lockbird. I only have one. I have plenty of other hand traps in the deck, so I feel like I can play one and be okay. And double Zombie World for tributes. All monsters become zombies, and it also combos well with Unizombie second effect, which makes my monsters all zombies. And this makes them all zombies, and Unizombie second effect says only zombies can attack. And then of course, Mizuki is motherfucking boss when zombie was on the field. So that's the side deck. I wish I could main deck Zombie Worlds really badly. It just clogs a lot, so I didn't end up keeping it in the main deck. So onto the extra deck, we've got Double Omega, Double Side-Frame Lord Omega. He's the official boss monster of the NFL. No, I'm just kidding. I guess he's my official boss monster just because he's my turn one go-to. We do have others, like we have got the Shiranui Shogun Saga is really good for outing over 3,000 beaters, which is what this deck kind of needed. You've also got Beals that can help with that too. It'll just take a turn or so. You've got Void Ogre. I'm sorry, that's not Void Ogre. Scarlight and Void Ogre. Scarlight, he's really good. I really, really like his effect a lot more than I used to these days. Void Ogre is always good, of course. He negates stuff if you have no cards in hand. We've got the Clear Wing, the Moonlight, and the Black Rose for our 7s. Black Rose, it nukes the field. Moonlight bounces shit back to the extra deck, which is pretty important. And Clear Wing, which is more negation. Specifically things that would target level 7 or higher monsters. He can also negate the effects of 5 or higher monsters that activate, period. So things like Masterpiece or the Dinos and shit like that. On to our Xyz, we've got the one Tornado Dragon, the Castel, and the Dweller for our rank 4 toolbox. Then I go into mostly the Tornado Dragon because it's such a good card. The one Dante for our Platter Plant, or the one Levier for our Platter Plant combo. Either you banish Mizuki to summon a Unizombie and then bring back the Mizuki with Levier to synchro into Omega. Or if you're feeling a little on the daring side, you summon Dante, mill 3, and let me tell you, last weekend when I was playing the tournament, Dante was lifesaver. He was MVP. Milling not only Mizuki, but Shiranui Solitaire, not once, but twice in the tournament. Dante was putting in work, and I really like the addition of the inclusion of Dante. I ran on last time. And of course our Starfree Knight for our Brilliant Fusion. So if you guys enjoyed this deck, and the explanation, I would say semi-uniqueness of this type of deck, leave a like. You can comment down below your thoughts of this deck, any ideas of somewhat hybrid decks that you guys have played, of course. And all these social media stuff will be down in the description box. And as always, this is Jesse from Team Judgment, and I'll be signing out. Catch you guys in the next one.